Well, hello there, everyone out there, and here we are coming from Laguna Beach in California here, and we came over to Seema's place here, and trying to spend a little bit more time over here, so it's not always convenient for me to have the grand piano, of course, always handy on the days of I'm going to be going live streaming. But I want to welcome you all again to another kind of interesting show. This is the first for me, and I really want to tell you that if you only could see, not only did I set up the studio, for because you all know I do virtual teaching, all done online, and it's in my studio in here. I have all the cameras and lights. It's a very small one bedroom, actually two bedroom, I should say. I'm in the second bedroom, and here's I got the lights up here, and there's cameras. I get cameras all over the place, and so I do my correspondence from anywhere. And who would have thought that in this, this the world we're in now, this becomes a commonplace. This is something I've been doing since 1989, and we're over here and we're social distancing, and I understand in Arizona the count's gone up quite a bit, and they just mandated masks to be worn, and so there's I'm definitely but we'll be going back and forth between Arizona and Laguna Beach here, and it's a way for Seema to see her family and such. So, but we're hope everyone's doing well and getting through this. So I'm going to bring something very special to you today, and please bear with me as far as any technical things, because I'm to the point right now where this is so new. Not only the live streaming thing, but I'm bringing to you the Ravenscroft 275 today. I'm playing, and I'm using my Kurzweil SP6 as a controller, and it's really it's quite nice in itself. But the Ravenscroft is really something to see, and I'm going to be doing quite a few things with it today. So again, I'm going to use this as more of a testing ground. So for the future shows when I'm away, they'll be more and more dialed in, and eventually I'll be able to do some layers and use the strings on the Kurzweil and do some really cool things with the Ravenscroft piano. So please just kind of bear with it right now. I've got my fingers crossed that everything goes good, and we had internet issues with getting the speed up here, because we're never here, so kind of thing. So we're here for the summer a little bit more. So I had to go get that. So that still isn't quite up to par, but so I had to play with the frames per second and everything. But anyway, it's we're going to get through this, and I have some interesting things to play for you today. But anyway, let me tell you a little bit about the Ravenscroft. I was kind of came on board as in the very front line of that. It's in fact I worked with Lance over at VI Labs, and he's a great guy, really great guy, and he kind of walked through some things, and he happened to notice that my version that I have is one of the really old versions. It's one of the older versions, so it indicates that I've been kind of a fan of their product for a long time. Friends with Michael Spreeman and the gang over there. They're just wonderful people. I know Bob Ravenscroft personally, and I could not say enough about the acoustic piano, and this thing is really something too, and hopefully it will convey itself through the live stream. Okay, and again, when I use this on a gig, I typically go into an Allen Heath mixer, and I come out stereo, and that's why it sounds so good when on my gigs, because I'm coming out left and right, and as opposed to mono. So it's that's another kind of one of my tricks. But anyway, let me show you a little bit here, and maybe I'll show this a couple of times throughout the show here today. This is the Ravenscroft. This is what it looks like, and these happens to be my settings on here. I have a close miking, and I have a side miking, and they have the ability to kind of change that. You can even change the amount of pedal noise. You can hear the dampers coming off. It's really pretty amazing. And then I take it a step further into my. Here I got the warm room with a little bit of a reverb on it, and you could set it how you want, and it's infinite. The possibilities are incredible. And then you come over here, and this is my velocity curve, and what that means is I can the piano's not playing so hot on the top of my stroke so it feels more to me like a real grand piano. So those are kind of some of my screenshots of the product, and so I'm going to start off today with a really old tune. What's new? I mean, I like these old tunes anyway, so it's really kind of fun. But it's this one. I had a student ask me if I know "Lilacs in the Rain." I've never heard of it. I never even heard of it. It's a really old one, written in 1939. And I heard a version of Billie Holiday play it, so and I really dug it. It was really a cool tune. So I'm going to play that for you now. And again, I'm going to try to use the piano in such a way to really let you hear the different ins and outs of it. And I got my screensaver set to never, and it still went dark on me. So these are the little things that happen when you're trying to just scramble here to do a live stream. But anyway, hope you enjoy Lilacs in the Rain. Here we go. Well, there you have it. Lilacs in the Rain. It's let's see who's in here. We got. Okay, I'm gonna say hi to everyone here. It's so nice. Yeah, the mic is this microphone here, believe it or not, is almost full. It's almost full blast. So I will try to speak up, and rather than try to play too much with this, I'm going through. Good seeing Susan, Danny Doyle, man, Mark Perney, great piano tuner. He's my personal piano tuner, and he's like, I love him. You know, he's just really great. And I have a nice video I did of the Ravenscroft at Mark's house. In fact, he had a Casio Privier, and I used that as a controller. So that's got a lot of acknowledgement when we did that a few years ago. Good seeing you, Dave. Thank you for the comments, Aaron. Appreciate you popping in. And let's see, Tricia. Good seeing you. Good seeing you, Ed. And let's see, Susan. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Danny. Yeah. It's really, this is, there's always some kind of technical stuff going on. If you've seen the floor here with all the wires, it's like, it's crazy. But hopefully the sound of this is coming through. It's really something. And pardon me for using headphones, because it's like it's the best way for me to really hear what's going on and monitor it like this way. And so the next tune, I'm going to play some just tunes and have some fun here, and hope you enjoy. This next tune is really a cool tune, and I remember I have a fond memory of playing this with the great Greg Abate, alto player from Rhode Island. He visited me in New Hampshire, and it really was cool, and it was pretty amazing that Polkadots and Moonbeams, but Greg just killed it. And I have this video, and it was in my finished basement. It really was something. It was really good. I'm going to try to dig the footage out of me playing Polkadots and Moonbeams. It was like 20 years ago, but it was a very fond memory of that time. So anyway, here it is, Polkadots and Moonbeams. Enjoy. Polkadots and Moonbeams. That goes out to my dear friend Greg Abate. Remembering some good times playing that tune with him. Good seeing you, Nora. Okay, we got the let's see what else is going on here. Checking all my settings. You get so accustomed to one place. And I got my grand piano, my setup and everything, and the nice thing is, it's just when you switch settings like this is the advantage of me being able to come over here, spend time with Seema's family, and see, we've been really social distancing ourselves, being very, very careful, keeping everything, even family member meetings, we're, times together, we're really being very, very careful and respectful to everyone around us. And it's such a unbelievably difficult time. This is something that I look so forward to be able to just connect in, some capacity, So again, and this is kind of the byproduct. We've been together 7 years, and when you meet someone later in life like this, it's we both have big lives, so we have to respect and try to accommodate each other. So it really works out quite good. And fortunately, she's only a 5.5 hour ride, not in Boston, So we make it work. So we get in the car, we come out and get all my cameras and set up for a few months. But I'll probably be doing a lot of these here, and I'll be doing some with the grand piano at the house too. So I'll be going back and forth to Arizona. So anyway, hopefully the piano's coming through okay. I haven't heard any alarming things, yet, And again, it's just saying a lot for the software too, because I am actually streaming. So I'm running. Not only am I running the software for Ravenscroft, but I'm streaming OBS software, and and we're streaming online. So I got a million things going on in here. So if you so just the fact that it's coming through and you guys are getting a great signal. I did a couple of tests, and surprisingly, it was coming through really quite well. This was the only mic that's kind of low volume here, so we're trying to make the best of it. This next tune is we're going to go into a tune I did for the Earthworks microphone company, and it really is something. We have the it's an old tune, and I played it for when they did a commercial when they were out in California here, and I was featured as one of the artists. So I played this tune. Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans? Again, all these old tunes. I remember fondly playing these with Dick Johnson. I played this one with Herb Pomeroy a few times. We get a chance to work together. It was really a real treat. What a pleasure. And but hope you enjoy. Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans? There you have it. Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans? It's just, one of those old tunes that are just so fun to play. Good seeing you, Dave Landoni, my fellow cycler. It's definitely, no cycling going on over here, Dave. I'll tell you that much. You stay off these streets. It's just, just too crowded, and even social distancing. It's like we find ways to get really far away from, any crowds. But everyone seemed to be pretty respectful right now in this hard time, all over the world. Anyway, that was Do You Know What It Means to Miss New Orleans? I have an original tune that I like to play for you that was really kind of a special one for me that I wrote during the when quarantine started, and I wrote like eight tunes. I got 9 now, and it was it's called Palermo. And I was in the process of trying to set up some time to go over to Italy and do some playing, and it was really in motion. I was checking out places, called some establishments to try to get some time, and I was going to go out there for several weeks, if not a couple of months, during a summer perhaps, and look at the opportunity of doing some playing. But of course things have changed. So this goes out, and for those that might not know, that I'm half Sicilian. So it's so even though I got a Delaney, a very Irish last name, it's I'm very Sicilian. It's Italian all the way. I grew up with old-fashioned Italian household with my grandparents, right from Palermo, Sicily. So this next one here, yeah, Dave, Cycle 5. Yeah, man, I'll put one of those in. So again, the cool thing about this piano, again, pardon me, but you hear it's extraordinary. It's very hard to get this on any digital piano. I'll tell you that much. So it's something that is it's really kind of fun to play, and I get a really kick every time I stretch out on this thing a little bit. So and again, it's hopefully it's doing it justice through the live stream, because on recordings and things, it's often this is much better to play than a lot of the real pianos out there, because it really has a really nice. You got to dial it in. What I had done is the big thing here. Let me share this for those that might haven't seen this. I'll do it a couple of times throughout. This is my settings here. This is what the Ravenscroft software looks like, and you'll see here I have close miking, and I have over here a side miking. So it's and the piano itself is just controlling the software. This is just samplings of a world-class piano, and this is my velocity curve. I brought it down so I have a little bit more attack on the piano to have the notes respond more like a grand piano. So, but you can get involved here with putting you can even hear. Listen, you can hear at least in the headphones, I can hear the dampers coming off the strings. It's wild. It's just absolutely wild. So again, it's fun to share it, and I'm going to dial it in a lot more when I have time to really work with it now. And so there's no other presets on here, and it's basically all piano, and it's but there's just a magnitude of what you can do. It's just beyond what words can even explain. You could spend so much time, and I just happen to find these that work really great, and but I'm going to play with it more, and I'm afraid to change things because I got a nice sound out of it, so I'm nervous about tweaking it anymore, one of those kind of things. But it's really magnificent. I'm using this controller. There's a video of me playing on YouTube, playing the tune Don't Know Why from Norah Jones, and I played it using a Technics P30, and that's about a 25-year-old electric piano, weighted action piano. And it came out with I came out of with a iRig little interface thing, and because it had the old-fashioned MIDI, it didn't have USB, and the quality was great. It was really great. And I started off too with they have a laptop version, and the laptop version was really good. And then I got to the full version here with my MacBook Pro, and it's really something. Yeah, it's and Dave's got a good point. It takes a pianist with great ears to dial it in, and it really is something you have to really know what you want to hear, because this you can put too much reverb, or you can have all kinds of stuff that can kind of destroy the natural beauty of the sound. So again, this is just I'm caught up in my excitement of bringing this to you. It's like, because I play so much acoustic piano, and I am a purist. I am absolutely it took me a long time. I could tell you a little bit of my history of the electric pianos I had. Of course, I had the Fender Rhodes. I had a Yamaha PF70 back in the day. I had a Roland MKS20. I remember way back in the day at Ted Herbert's Music in Manchester, I bought my PF70 back in the maybe early 80s, maybe 70s, and it was a great electric piano, and MKS20. But I've been through the electric piano thing, and this Kurzweil that I'm using, the SP6, has great onboard sounds. But when you want to take it to the next level, I mean, the keyboard's doing nothing. So all these knobs and everything on here, I have everything off. And I'm typically using it on a gig with this interface. It's an Audient ID14. And it's really a tremendous interface that will enable you to make this work. Okay, so anyway, we're going to get right on. Good seeing you. Bob Carey just popped in, an old friend from the past. And it's this is the great thing about making this all happen for you guys. So we're going to go on now to one of my original compositions called Palermo. Check it out. There you have it, Palermo, one of my originals that I wrote just several weeks ago. And again, it was in a dying time of trying to get out and to get to Italy some point in my life and play some music. So I want to acknowledge the trio that was. I was so excited to get into this Ravenscroft with you all that I almost forgot to acknowledge the trio. I had a great privilege to play with a wonderful trio in California when I was out here and in 2010. And I was out here, and it was Sinclair Lott on drums, and Roger Shew, the late Roger Shew. We lost him a few years ago. What a wonderful, amazing musician and great person. And this was the tune "Out of Nowhere," and I really, my heart goes out to the opportunity to have be blessed to play with these guys, for such a great time. And I have a lot of it recorded for my own memorabilia. It's fun to share with you. Particularly when Roger was soloing in the door, the dinger when they're coming into the concert hall where we were playing was ding, 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 ding. So it was like it was priceless to see his expression in the middle of his great solo. But anyway, that was a trio, and you'll see a lot more with that trio. And also with my Arizona guys, I have Don Moyo, Bob Lazier. There's so many people that have had. There's such phenomenal players: John Lewis, Dwight Killian, Chris Stewart, Jerry Donato. I mean, just to name a few, it goes on and on. There's such a mecca of great musicians wherever you go, pretty much, and we all seem to find each other. I had a great pleasure to play in the Paradise Valley College faculty band. That was a highlight of my career, I suppose. Chris Cinto, thank you. And but we did these 2 concerts every year in the concert hall there, and with John Lewis on drums, Ted Sistrunk on bass, the great Brett Reed on vibes, great vibes player, and Scott Zimmer on tenor, and just a burner. Keith Kelly was actually on it towards the end, and that went on for many, many years. So those concerts can be found in the Paradise Valley College, library, and you can hear those full concerts. And we did everything from Chick Corea to Dave Brubeck to Coltrane to Monk, and I mean, it was definitely challenging stuff, Still remember playing Blue Rondo a la Turk with a page turner. It was pretty wild. But anyway, thank you all for listening to this today. And it's I want to play a tune. I'm gonna slow it down to a bluesy thing right now and play a tune that everyone knows, all the jazz guys anyway, called Doxy. Here we go. Just saw Michael Spreeman come in. Hey, Michael, good seeing you, man. And he's the mastermind behind the Ravenscroft piano, the 9-foot and the 7-foot, an absolute world-class instrument that is just hard to touch anywhere. It's really worth it. So these are actually samples of that piano, and it's just really something. But anyway, it's nice to put it out there for you, Michael. I appreciate everyone coming in and checking it out. Okay, here we go with Doxy. There you go, Doxy. Man, I had to play more of that the bass, the bass in this thing. It's crazy. Hey, man, Peter ZELLE, good seeing you, man. Jack, good seeing you. Great B3 player, great piano player. Peter's also a great B3 player. And me and Peter have been holding down that Omni gig at the Omni Resort for many years now, for a few years now, and it's sad, but, it's just sad time, man. We always had fun. We were alternating it, so we each had a Sunday off, and it was a beautiful gig, 9 a.m. to noon. Hopefully we'll be back, and you'll hear more of what we do. Again, that was Doxy, another really, really cool tune. That was it's just so fun to play. This next one I want to play is it's an old one, and I play around with it a little bit. It's I think it's another one written way back. It's called "I Cover the Waterfront," and again, we're listening to the Ravenscroft piano, Ravenscroft 275. So it appears it's coming through really good, because I put a lot of time in to try to get this thing. Remember, we got a lot of processing going on here to make this live stream work. OBS software, is running, and the machine sound, my computer sounds like it's going to take off. It's like all the fans going, and we're streaming, and I got the Ravenscroft software going, so it's and it's coming through. I did some tests, and everything was cool, but I'm really pushing it again. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so and I know I'll dial it in more and more, and I'll get a chance to listen to everything I played again and kind of critique my own scene. But anyway, let's play a little bit of "I Cover the Waterfront," another really old tune, fun tune to play. Wish you could hear it from these headphones, man. It's like another whole scene. It's like, you're not going to get me away from that. It's like makes the experience so outstanding. It's really something. And again, when I use this on a gig, the key thing, and I remember my recent gig I played with Dwight Killian, the great Dwight Killian, bass player. He was saying, "Yeah, man," he goes, I'm running that stereo cabinets." And he had commented on it too, because it's like when you put this piano in the stereo kind of setup, it really is pretty cool, So that's just my personal thing. I'm just using 210s, JBLs, and but it sounds really great. And I remember Lee Burke from Berklee College of Music is a dear friend of mine, and he's a very what can you say, very seasoned listener. And he said, "Dan, it's one of the best sounding pianos I've ever heard for an electric piano." And it's like, and to come from him, it made me feel really good, because a lot of effort goes into getting the right sound and making it well work. But when you get it, it's cool. Okay, "I Cover the Waterfront." Here we go. There you have it. I Cover the Waterfront. Again, another very old tune, and I guess that's going to conclude it for another day. Another time here. Again, it's been a real pleasure. We made it through. Hopefully, you get a little bit more familiar and acquainted with the Ravenscroft 275. It's really something. When you ever get a chance to play it, check it out. It's really it's a lot of fun, and the real piano itself. In itself is just a trip, and they're located right in Arizona, and they're just a world class. Is one of my favorite pianos out there to play. So it's they really should be acknowledged for all the great work they're doing. So anyway, coming to you from the Laguna Beach, California, where we're over here at Seema's place, and we're going back and forth between Arizona and. It's 40 degrees cooler, but we had the pool over there. So, but anyway, we're staying very much quarantined and abiding, and hopefully tomorrow will be another great time for us all. And down the road, we'll get back to playing personally and entertaining you all live. So, in the meantime, you'll be seeing more of this. I'm planning right now. I'll be. Occasionally be using the grand piano, but I'll be doing more on this. This is really fun, and I'll be dialing in more. I can do layers with the Kurzweil here, which is really fun. And I didn't want to screw around with it today, but it's because I have great strings on the Kurzweil, so you can do some really cool things. And again, next week, I'm likely what I'm going to do, because I'm pretty well tied in with my YouTube channel. If you'd like to hear more of what I do, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll be notified when the next. I usually can set it up and schedule it. But it looks like I'm going to try to go next Sunday at 12 noon to hit that international crowd out there. And because a lot of the people, when I come later in the afternoon in the United States here, it doesn't conveniently accommodate them over there. So I'm going to try to maybe alternate between the Facebook and the YouTube platform. So next Sunday, as of now, it's shooting for noon next Sunday on my YouTube channel. So until then, I'm going to leave you with one of my first compositions that I wrote, and you might be familiar with it. You might have seen it. It's called the Forever April. It was written at the very beginning. I did a gig with Jerry Donato, the great tenor player. We did a duo gig up in Carefree. It was a private party, and just the day after that is when they announced everything was being shut down. So, so I went in and I tried to turn a downtime into a very, creative, productive time. So be sure to send comments. I'll personally write to all of you and say hello and touch in, and thank you all for coming to the show. And enjoy my Forever April is my original composition, and I'll catch you next time. Okay, hope to see you next Sunday on my YouTube channel at noon. Okay, until then, God bless everyone. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.